as soon as they came in, I was like, they look too keen.
Oh, look out, look out, look out!
G'day everyone and welcome back to another episode of PUNT Ep.3. Looking to find a pig, not see a pig. In this episode I'm going to try and keep it nice and short, sharp and sweet. And then I'll show you at the end what we find. With us today we have Jade, Jack, Jet, Nero and Griff. And we shall kickstart this episode with the first bit of sign that we see. So this is where it all started. Off the beaten track, we just had a bit of a gander. Something had caught our eye, and it was the pig. It wasn't a pig, but it was the sign of a pig. They had been in here, sniff, sniff, look at that. That's all diggings, not the dog. Goddamn pups. One thing I must say is the benefit of walking, especially if you got a pup, is to be taking them to where the pig sign is. They can start getting used to that scent. But what I'm actually trying to show you is fresh sign. So what you can see there is the actual snout of the pigs. If you maybe might have to pause the video, you can see it. And you can also see the color change in the dirt, and that would indicate that it is fresh. It's been freshly dug up. So that's a really good indicator and a good start that they've been here feeding, rooting up, digging up. As we keep walking up the track, we just continue to find more and more and more. But this is what I was talking about in the last episode, is why here? What are you looking for in the land, in the landscape? Because when you look in the distance, you're like, well, they could just be anywhere, which this time of year they could be. But what we're looking for is this is actually on the downhill, or I should just say at the bottom of a hill, right? Water goes down there. And now that it stopped raining up here for a little while, or for a little bit I should say, that water sort of receded. Not sort of, it has receded. So therefore those pigs are going to be there just rooting up when it's still moist. So we do decide to push in a bit further because there was also like game trails around those diggings. So we follow them in, which led us to this, I'm going to call it like a hedge. I know it's not an actual hedge, but you get the idea. We have seen pigs in this area before, so we were actually pretty confident that there would be something around. And this is the reality of our hunting, is the tracking and trying to think like a pig, not just eat like a pig. We're trying to work out which way would they have gone. Because at this time of the day, we already know that they're going to be bedded up under against those checkpoints. If you don't know what the checkpoint is, you're going to have to go to my first video and see what I talk about in regards to checkpoints. One thing you must also be wary of, definitely this time of the year, is being croc-wise. We don't intentionally want to be around these puddles, but hey, guess what? Welcome to hunting in the NT. There is absolutely no guarantee that there is not a crocodile in there, because we both know that there is a large river system not far from here. But at the end of the day, like I just said, welcome to hunting in the NT. And this is what I'm saying. I don't know if you could see that, but that was like a trail again, a trail for the pigs. They've been moving in and out through these hedges. So you got to think about it. There's water here. There's a bit of mud for them to dig up in, and there's these hedges for them to take shelter in. So that's why we just keep walking around trying to get the dogs to work. Dogs are doing exceptionally well in this area. But the other thing with these hedges, or this bush, I'm going to call it scrub, bush, whatever you guys want to call it, is these berries. We've also seen these have been chewed up before around the signs of pig. So I'm not 100% sure whether they actually eat it, but there's been an indication that they have been eating it. So you'd like to think that we are in the right area. And this is really good for Jade. The good thing about having a pup being brought up with your dogs is that they get to start working at a real young age. It's always going to be controversial on what age you should start taking a pup out, because they are obviously going to be little, slower, and sometimes just an absolute pain in the ass. But in my opinion, as soon as you get the dog, and it's, again, in my opinion, 3 months old, they should at least be walking around with you. Obviously, they're not going to do anything, right? That's why she hasn't got a plate on or anything like that. She's not going far from me, but at least she's getting the scent. She's getting the working with the dogs. What are they doing? And she's going to learn quite quickly this year what we are out here doing. And for her, she gets to run around and enjoy it anyways. So when you have a pup, never leave the pup at home. Take it everywhere with you. This is just my bit of advice. If you want to have a pup that you want to be good, you want it to be able to find pigs at such a young age, or at least start tracking them at a young age. Because if you just carry the pup around and just drop it on pigs when you see them, they're going to start expecting that. And also try and hunt the pup, dare I say it, with your good dogs. They will copy the attitude, they'll copy the style of hunting. At the end of the day, if you have multiple dogs, again, this is my opinion, you have multiple dogs and it hangs around with the dog that works the least, you run the risk of it copying that dog. So even that comes down to little things, and when you're cruising around or they're at home in the cage, have the pup in the cage with your best dog. With your main dog, if that's what you want to call it. But have it always with your best dogs. Again, this is what I have found in hunting, and that's one thing I'll live by. Start them young and keep them around the good dogs. We cruise around a bit more, but there doesn't seem to be that much action, as in regards to sign. But something else happened this morning when we got here. These dogs were going absolutely ballistic in my cage, and I did not have any of them plated up. But what I tried to do was put a collar on Nero, at least. Because when I opened the cage, they just burst out and I had to grab Nero by the tail. The rest of this story, I'll let you watch. said we either come out here and get a boar or a mob. Fuck.
So I was like, oh, those dogs look way too big.
I know, as soon as I opened the cage, I was like, I need to put one on one of you.
That's what I'm saying, don't let them in.
I know, but I'm like, I need to put a collar on. You right, Nero? Nero, if you want a photo with your pig, come on.
Oh, there you go. Good boar. Yeah, that's what I said. As soon as they came in, I was like, they look too keen.